Welcome back, everybody. This is a very labored episode of Phandom Racers. We've tried for 2 weeks to get this to work, and we're just getting by.
It's been insane.
I am Justin. I'm joined by Amanda and Hannah, first-time guest here on Phandom Racers. How are you, Hannah?
Oh, I'm doing great, Justin.
That's dang good.
Dang good.
All right. So today we're talking about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's
Woo!
Stone.
No!
I have grievances with this particular movie. Let's briefly discuss what this movie is. We'll talk a little bit about what it is that you guys like about it, and why I have such a hard time understanding why everybody loves this. I know 83 billion people love this movie. I get it, but it's just not for me. We'll discuss my problems with math later. So, this movie is it's a very whimsical take on magic and sorcery. It's not quite as dark as, let's say, like Lord of the Rings or something like that, where you've got, monsters that genuinely eat people and stuff like that. And this is a little more child friendly, I guess. In my opinion, a little too much so for my tastes. I'm not saying it's a bad movie altogether or even a bad franchise. It's just not for me, and that's kind of how I went into this movie. I watched it all 6 hours of it. It's a long movie. That movie it takes a while.
It is, but it's worth the wait, right? Well, maybe not for you, but
not for this guy. I was there. I was present, and I watched it all, mostly in one sitting. I was doing a bunch of drawing and stuff while I was watching it. Yeah, so it's about this kid, Harry Potter, who it turns out he's a wizard, and goes throughout all these adventures, and at the end of the movie, he's still a wizard. He hasn't changed. So he starts off a good person, he ends a good person, and
Is he a good person?
well,
He's a good person.
he's comparatively to his aunt and uncle-in-law or whatever that guy is. I don't know what the name for him is, but sure, he's better than most of the people in this movie. Anyway, I have voiced my opinions about this movie enough to, like, my impression of this movie. I'll get into like the actual problems I have with this movie later. How did you guys enjoy the movie? I assume you didn't care for it either. I assume you're wearing those shirts ironically, is why.
yeah, total hipsters. Yes, Hannah, do like the can and show Justin your pants.
Oh yeah.
You got pants.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So obviously we disagree with you strongly.
Okay.
So in my opinion, Harry Potter came out when I was 11 years old. Like the movie came out when I was 11 years old.
Yeah.
Right when you were supposed to go to Hogwarts and stuff, and your journey begins to this magical land. And that's the main draw to it, is that everyone who, I guess, reads it when they're a child gets this kind of fantastical, if only there was a world where I could go and be a Hogwarts student, and this is it. I could do math that's magical, and horticulture that's magical, and all my stuff
Cooking that's magical.
Cooking that's magical. That's why I'm a Hufflepuff.
All right.
But it's really, for me, and I think for a lot of people, it's the world building that's it's so painstakingly put together. And I didn't read the books before watching the first movie, but I sure did read them after the first movie because it was like the same feeling you get with Indiana Jones or Star Wars, Jurassic Park.
That magical one to go to it, but also like with Jurassic
Be
Park.
terrified.
No, but with Jurassic Park, it's like that. Oh, wow, and then it takes a sour turn. So the whole glamour of it all, that you want to be a part of that world, and it draws you in. And I know you have issues with like the character development, but there's hints of it. Let's not forget this is a child's story.
Sure. Okay.
Hannah, what did you think?
Oh, I don't know how to piggyback off of that because I didn't come prepared with notes.
What was your first introduction to?
Well, I was like 2 when it came out, 1, 2. So, you know, pretty dang young. And when I first watched it, I didn't pay attention because I didn't pay attention to anything as a child. But I recently rewatched it, and I will tell you, it is
Say magical.
compared to the books,
Yeah.
it's not as great, but I still loved to see it on screen and in a way where it wasn't like, hey, visualize everything yourself, because I suck at doing that. So
And I think that's where it helped me kind of. I always say that the first books I ever really read were Harry Potter. I read other books, but they sucked. So the first book series that I was really interested in was Harry Potter. And I think that helped, like the initial movie where you get such a good like background and the characters are kind of well sculpted. They look exactly like what's on the cover. So it helps, I think. But
there is a rift growing between you two.
I want to get your opinions on, do you think that this is just your kind of traditional Cinderella story? And is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Let Justin talk.
Oh, is it me? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, it's something that's been used a lot, but there's a reason it's used a lot. It works. It's a functioning plot. There's no reason really to change it too much. My problems with it really stem more from like poor exposition on some things. So like first issue I have with the movie, and maybe this explains this in the book. I've never read the books. The aunt and uncle that you know are taking care of Harry Potter, they obviously hate that kid, right?
Yeah.
They obviously don't want that kid around, right?
Yes.
Why are they trying so hard to keep that kid?
So yes, it is explained in the books, but not in the first issue. Like, I mean, issue. In the first book.
Yeah.
So later on, it's kind of explained that Dumbledore. I don't remember exactly what is. You read it lately.
The second book, I can promise you, I'm still procrastinating that one.
I don't think it was the second book.
Past that, I don't know. Well, I know that like in the movies they touch, like Dumbledore like touches on it that he'll be safe there, and like since it's his mom and the sister still has love for like the aunt since Petunia. Yeah, she still has love for Lily somewhere deep in her heart. It's like a family like love for, it's a continuation, and that he's safe there. Okay. Technically.
Yeah, somewhere in that book.
It
does explain why. I just didn't remember exactly why.
So in the movie,
big chain of love. We just watched that play. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So like in the movie, she says, "You are my perfect sisters, whatever. She was so great. Turns out you'd be weird too." She she never expresses that she has any attachment to her sister other than I hate that lady. Never shows any kind of like just give like a little hint of like who did you promise it to? Because that's the only reason they're taking care of the kids. They promised to who? The kid that you hate? No. The dead people that you hate? Nah. The wizards and stuff that you hate? Nah, I think so. I don't I don't understand that in the they could have done, I think, a better job explaining what the problem is.
They explain it
But
later,
it's a
not
very
later.
childish way of explaining it. Like Cinderella, like they keep her around to do chores. He was doing chores as well.
He was doing chores. He was Dudley's punching bag. He was Vernon's punching bag.
He started pushing back.
He does.
Later.
A punching bag's only fun until it starts punching back, and then you would I would think want to get rid of it.
Well, you also have to take into consideration that the Dursleys, the Dursleys, so close. The Dursleys are very like social norm is the main key of life.
Sure.
And Harry was this whole wizarding aspect is not normal for society, the Muggle society. So you have to keep that in mind as to why they treat him so badly and want to keep him there because they want him to be normal. If they're going to be associated with him, he has to be their version of normal.
And they're terrified of him too.
That's also true. That is also true.
Like it pretty much is just they're terrified of witches and wizards, and they're gonna do whatever to kind of lay low. So.
Even if that means driving all the way to the coast and renting a lighthouse to hide in.
Yeah, I don't see. I never got that they were trying to make him normal, just that they didn't like him. They never really gave him good guidelines, or they never tried to help him not be a wizard. They just made his life miserable and like threw letters from Hogwarts into the fire while chuckling. Oh, and just like throwing like. Look, either get rid of the kid or stop complaining about the kid, but like, fix the problem in there. I understand you have to make them look like the bad guys because they're his ball and chain. That's what's keeping him from flourishing into becoming who he truly is. I think they could have done a better job of explaining why they were that way. I'm not saying humanize them to the point where like you can agree with them on why they were doing what they were doing. Just make it make a little more sense.
I was just gonna chime in and say they do humanize them in like the last film or so.
It was cut,
but it was cut. It was cut. That's the biggest sad part.
And they don't need that.
Them. They humanize. We have the extra version, so you're able to see them, but they did do it. But then they cut it. So it ties with your whole point of they don't really humanize them at all.
As the child evolves, the story evolves as well. So you start with this very simplistic storyline. Like, yeah, he's a Cinderella and he's dealing with his nasty step parents. And then one day a magical wizard comes to save him. So yeah, that's the first story, but then you evolve and then it goes into like your teenage years and how, yeah, maybe the people that you thought your heroes aren't exactly that heroic, and it just makes you kind of come to terms with the world from childhood to your adult life. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think everybody kind of connects with it.
Yeah.
Except for you.
I'm too emotionally healthy. I don't know what you want from me.
I don't like being called out like that, Justin.
That's too dang bad. Maybe if you were more emotionally healthy, you'd be fine with it. Anyway.
Who's to say?
At the end of the movie,
yeah,
you find out who the bad guy is. Harry Potter finds out who the bad guy is. It's the dude with the turban thing.
Quirrell.
Sure. And then and then he just starts explaining everything for seemingly no reason. No one's forcing him. I thought I was going to find out, he's under some kind of exposition spell. He's like, fill in all the plot holes, Expelliarmus thing. And that's why he started saying, like, remember that time you saw me do this? This is why. And he just starts telling him all of this stuff. And I'm like, I mean, I get this is a kid's movie. And maybe, yeah, you need to fill in some holes for the kids that aren't going to put this stuff together right away. But also, if I'm a kid, I probably don't care that much about that stuff. You're the bad guy now. I know that because Harry Potter's like, it's you. And then now I know that he's the bad guy. And he takes off the hat, and he's got a weird face on the back of his head, which is too creepy for him. And then and then they start fighting. Like, yeah, I'm gonna figure out he's the bad guy. If I'm too young to figure out the plot points he's hitting on, I'm young enough to where I just care that there's magic fights happening. And I feel like as an adult watching that again, I was like, that just bumped into that. It was a little bit weird. He just started explaining all of this other stuff. I get that he can like admit, like, yeah, I'm a servant of Jub, what's his name, Voldemort, and then and
middle name Jub.
I don't remember his name.
Tom Jub Riddle.
That's a sweet name.
That doesn't spell I am Voldemort.
So
I had to take my middle name out. What's your middle name, Tom? I refuse to tell you.
It's Marvello. I changed it. It used to be Jub.
I couldn't take my muggle father's name.
Good job. I ship it.
I like it better.
I think it would have been a better movie if they had called him Jub the whole time. Because if this guy did something so horrible, wouldn't you want, and you don't want to say his name, wouldn't you just give him a stupid nickname and just call him Jub? Just call Voldemort Jub. You don't want to say Voldemort? He's a bad guy? I don't care about hurting his feelings. Call him Jub.
I mean, we could have done that with Hitler, but
I might start doing that with Hitler.
Can you just imagine the History Channel going, and then Jub released soldiers into Poland.
Adolf Jub. It's not going to hurt anybody's feelings that matters. giving a historical, like, tyrant, corrupt person a stupid nickname, I don't think should hurt anybody's feelings. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know anything about storytelling.
Jub realized that he had lost the war and committed suicide.
Oh man.
Poor Jub.
No, more
Jub. No.
He's got a cute name now. I feel sorry for him.
No sympathy for the devil.
No sympathy for you, Jub.
Back to Voldemort.
Okay. They go the whole movie telling you that Hans Gruber is the bad guy, right? I think Hans Gruber is the bad guy because he's been the bad guy in Die Hard and in...
She's too young. You have to explain who Hans Gruber is.
Just sitting here. I'll just sit here, mate.
Snape. All right? Snape, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't remember his first name. So he's been the bad guy in most things. You just assume when you see Alan Rickman, he's going to be the bad guy in this. I get it. You go through the whole movie, he's the bad guy. Let's light him on fire and do all this horrible stuff, right? And just assume the worst about him, which they did. You get to the end of the movie, does anybody say, we're gonna give this dude a trophy for being, picked on a whole bunch by like the Wonder Twins and stupid, and then and lit on fire. Good job. Here's a medal for protecting Harry Potter, and then being the best, Alan Rickman. You deserve better than not to be thanked and not to be mentioned anywhere at the end of the movie. Like the kids didn't even say, "Hey, sorry, we lit you on fire. We thought we're a bad guy. We didn't really have any proof, but we had a real good hunch." And nobody apologizes. Nobody says kudos. He just sits there with his Alan Rickman face, being like, "This is what I get. This is what I get for being a good guy and having black straight hair."
Well, you got to take into account that Severus Snape was a massive butthole to them in general.
Sure.
And well, he is. He is.
Like, I get it.
I'm gonna pick on you, 11-year-old boy, because of some hateful thing that I experienced in my life beforehand, or just because I don't like you, I'm going to pick on you. And he's like, well, of course, like the Quidditch game, he's the only one we can see with our binoculars because we don't look up any higher.
An inch higher, and you would have seen the other two.
Knees. You see Quirrell's knees, and you're like, no, we don't want to look any higher.
No.
Oh, well, when the troll came in, I saw you had a giant gash in your leg. So, like, my hunch, it was pretty solid at the time. And also, you're a turd, so I don't like you.
I do have to admit, I was watching this movie again, and Snape goes over to Harry Potter and congratulates him on his first, like, Quidditch game.
But it sounds so insincere.
He sounds so mean.
He's like, congrats.
Like, I can't help but think that's just how he sounds, and he was honestly trying to be nice.
Yeah.
I do know something that I recently watched this video of this lady who used to work at the studio tour stuff up in England, upwards from America.
All the way at the top of the map. Yeah.
Yeah, all the way up. And she had stated that Alan Rickman, he rejected this role because he had just finished playing like whatever evil role he played beforehand. He was like, I don't want to play any more villains. I'm kind of tired of that. But like J.K. Rowling, she was set on having him be the part, so she told him his Snape's full story, and he was like, okay, I'll do it now. But like, he didn't want to play that role. But he did.
It kind of looks like he didn't, though. When you watch the movie, he's just like, I'm so bored of this role.
Yeah, but that's just how Snape is.
That is Snape.
I guess it plays into the character. I feel like he deserved better than that. They did my boy dirty. They didn't give him any apologies, any trophies. I get that he sounds like a jerk. Sure, but that's not his fault.
In the last movie, Harry Potter names his son after him.
It's a middle name, forget Remus. Forget everybody else.
Forget the cool guys that he was friends with.
I really said no to Arthur. I really thought Severus was a good
That's fine, I guess. But that's the last movie. I'm talking about this is the single installment as far as I know, because I haven't watched the other movies haven't come out yet. This is the only one that I've seen. And all right. So that was the other problem I had. Last problem I had with this movie that I'll get into. Side note, I probably didn't need the Quidditch scene. I don't know why that was in there. But other than that,
building.
I don't want that. It's not my world. Anyway, all right. Fine. Okay, keep it Quidditch. I don't care. So
Oliver Wood gets very little scenes.
Dumbledore, at the end of the movie, is a jerk.
I know. Okay, this is my favorite part.
Why would you do that to children?
Well, okay. I can explain why it was like a ha 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 ha. Here's the no. It goes to Gryffindor.
Just real quick, let me explain what I'm talking about so everyone knows what we're talking about. At the end of the movie, you get a scene where at the beginning of the movie they talk about like at the end of the semester every house gets put in the running for a trophy. I don't know, it's a WWE belt. It doesn't matter. So title world champion, Burger King crown, whatever. They get this at the end of the semester depending on an arbitrary system of points that they award to people throughout the entire semester. Their house gets something. The end of the movie, Dumbledore says, all right, Gryffindor came in last place. Hufflepuff is the third or whatever, and then Ravenclaw, I think, is the other one, and then the winners are these guys. But wait, there's more. You stupid kids thought you won because I just said it. I'm a liar.
Well done, Slytherin. Well done, Slytherin.
But wait, there's more.
It seems there's more points to award because I felt like it. We're going to do about it. And he just doles out exactly how many points Gryffindor needs to beat Slytherin. And you see the reason that Slytherin are a bunch of bad guys is because they keep having the rug just flooped out from underneath them. And that's why they get what they get. Okay. That's the scene we're talking about. Go ahead, Hannah.
Okay. So as a Gryffindor, I honestly also really hate this scene, but I appreciate the points. But the whole thing is they don't mention it in the movies, but in the books, Slytherin had a winning streak for 7 whole years for the House Cup title. So, I mean, Slytherin is gotta knock them off their horse. But like you also got to be like, yo, you defiled the rules, but did it good. You did it good. You played the best dang Quidditch I've ever seen. You Hermione Granger did something cool. Yeah.
She's the curliest hair in school. 53 points.
Harry, you killed the professor. Here's some points. Neville, the most courageous, he literally goes, the most courageous thing you can do is stand up to friends. And then
Neville
goes,
deserved those points.
No, Neville deserved those points. But let me tell you how I'm a little mad at that, because it's like, Neville, you've done the most courageous thing. You've stood up to your friends, not enemies. It's harder to stand up to friends. I'm going to give you the least amount of points out of the 4 of you.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the smallest amount. I'm gonna make sure you understand.
I mean,
this is still not as great as what
how Harry would feel if you just risked your life.
If you killed a professor
and had to kill a professor.
You didn't have to kill a professor. You just killed a professor.
And then Neville Longbottom gets like 100 points for telling you not to go somewhere.
Excuse me. Neville was trying to save house points. He's like, if you get caught again, I'm gonna be mad because you're gonna lose house points. And Harry was like, go away, Neville. No one wants you here.
Exactly how that scene should have gone.
Neville is the best.
Anyways, as a Hufflepuff, I dislike this.
I also dislike it, but the points, Manda, are necessary. I cannot allow Dumbledore's favoritism. I cannot allow. I do not support Dumbledore's favoritism to Harry Potter alone.
I think that's probably all of the issues that I have with this movie. And there at the end, I get, you got to pull the switcheroo or the gentle plot twist that it is. Like, the hero of the story is actually going to win, yeah, he does win. He just wins because uh, what is he, principal, the director? I don't know what Dumbledore is.
Headmaster.
That guy, the Maester,
He's like
decides to he decides to at the last minute be like, nah, I want these guys to win. Fine, but like, and in the movie, again, haven't read the books. Let's say I haven't seen any of the other movies. This is the only thing that exists to me. That's why you get bad guys. That's why you get. That's why you get what you get, Dumbledore. If these kids, if I'm not supposed to feel bad for those kids, then
What you get, Dumbledore. You remember that first year that I was there? You remember when you gave the house cup to Harry instead of Slytherin? This, I told you I get you. I told you I get you a little dog too.
That's why they kill him. I think because that's how you get supervillains. You keep treating them like that, and then if these kids are really that bad, why do you have them at this school at all, and you're not trying to reform them? I mean, like, I don't get it.
So the whole thing about Slytherin, so the four houses.
Yeah, explain this to
Okay,
him.
I will explain the four houses.
Mm.
So Gryffindor is for the courageous and brave at heart.
And prideful.
And prideful. Very
prideful. Chivalrous.
Ravenclaw is for people that like to seek out knowledge.
Witty.
And
wise.
Yeah, they're wise and witty, and they think in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hufflepuffs are fiercely loyal and usually not too like confrontational. Confrontagious. I'm sorry.
I don't want to catch. I caught your confrontation.
And Slytherins are meant to be ambitious, but
they'll do anything for the goal. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But if you are a full blood wizard, you get into Slytherin no matter what.
Wait,
that's the thing.
Then Weasleys.
Yeah, but they're courageous.
But that doesn't. What?
So pretty much, it's like any kid.
So like, if they're like supposed to be if they've got nothing special, I'm like, what if they're like a Hufflepuff?
About them and they're full blooded? They just get into Slytherin.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, you go there.
So you're telling me there's a house that tells the kids you're nothing special, so you're part of our group.
Pretty much.
That's the second reason you get supervillains.
Well, you also have to take into account with those the purebloods that are in Slytherin with Draco is that
they're told that the only thing that is special
about them is being a pureblood.
Yeah, they're pureblood.
So you got to take like Draco's whole attitude with that. You have to be like, oh, that's nasty attitude to begin with. How could you?
So frat kids.
Yeah.
Yes. Rich kids.
So that's kind of the impression I got, at least from Draco. But like, again, why wouldn't you try to reform these kids? Why do you just keep like just treating them horribly?
You got to put them in the place.
That's the third reason you get supervillains.
No, that's piggybacking number 2.
I can't justify to you why Slytherins are good people. I don't think they are.
Well,
okay.
The Slytherins were shown there are good ones, but the Slytherins were shown are all majority turds.
Yeah.
So like, and in the books they go heavy on that anti-Slytherin propaganda. So
okay.
Yeah.
They really do.
But I think also Gryffindors get that too. They're like,
Nowadays definitely people are like, Gryffindors, how dare you? The house system is whack, the point system is rigged, everything's for you. And I'm like, oh, it's just Dumbledore.
There's a
just
reason,
Dumbledore.
and I think it's because maybe J.K. Rowling's not so inventive when it comes to like solutions to her book.
We could talk about J.K. Rowling all night.
There's a reason why Harry Potter's not a Ravenclaw, and he's not smart. He doesn't ever do anything clever. It's really just other people pushing him in different directions.
Why do you think Hermione was written? Hermione was written to be just that push, which is bad.
Oh my god!
The best scene from the first movie to prove Amanda's point is when Seamus is like, "Eye of rabbit, harp string hum, turn this water into rum," and literally Harry's like, "Hey Ron, what is he doing? What is he trying to do to that water?"
Turn water into rum.
Harry, how about you shut your mouth and listen for like 2 seconds, and he'll tell you what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Harry's not smart.
None of them are good at anything except for Hermione, so I don't understand why I need the other two.
Hey, Hermione would not have gotten through that chess game, and neither could have Harry. So
she wouldn't have been in that whole situation if it wasn't for the other two, though.
She went willingly. That's the thing, is they didn't drag her along. She went willingly.
Mm-hmm. But she wouldn't have heard about any of this stuff if it wasn't
she wanted to be their friend.
Ed
she
Sheeran.
Wanted to be their friend. Yeah, Ronald Weasley was a turd.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's supposed to be. So she's the smart one.
Yeah.
Ron's supposed to be like the strategist.
Mm.
In this first,
in the first one. Only in the first one.
What do we do, Ron? I don't know. I gotta run away now.
You were doing stuff without me for like 2 seconds, and now I'm mad. Okay, Ronald.
And then Harry's supposed to be the chosen one.
Harry's just supposed to be the face.
Yeah, so Slytherins are evil, and we know why.
Well, we're taught that. We're only seen from a Gryffindor's point of view also. So, like...
I saw it from everybody's point of view that night when Dumbledore was like, suck. You guys suck.
Well, Dumbledore was a Gryffindor, so...
Yeah, so it's already rigged in Gryffindor's favor.
But you gotta understand that he has that hate already in him.
Most of the grown-ups
I do get it.
Yeah.
As headmaster, his job is to not show that hate, though.
Sprout a Hufflepuff?
One teacher that nobody talks about.
Then isn't like Flitwick also?
He's a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, he's a Raven. It's the 2 teachers. They don't talk about your house. Sorry, buddy. You're not in the most hated and you're not in the most loved. So go away.
So when I finished this movie, I was like, okay, all right, Justin, can you write a better movie? I think I can. All right?
Okay, do it.
Just bear with me.
Mm-hmm.
First, let's talk about recasting this movie. We're making it today. All right?
Oh.
Harry Potter. Oh, Harry Potter is played by Jason Statham. All right?
Oh my gosh. Jason Statham is this bald guy.
I'm already on board. Yeah, okay. I'm on board. I don't need to know anything else about it. I don't even need to know his face. I don't need to know his age. I don't need to know anything else about him besides he's bald, British, and talks in a bumbling manner.
I'm just trying to do my magic. He's that kind of guy. All right.
Okay, I completely agree.
Ronald Weasley, played by The Rock.
Yes,
he's a Hufflepuff.
Yeah. Pretty good. Hermione Granger, Kevin Hart.
No.
Yes.
I would say Draco should be Kevin Hart.
No, I've got a better one because Draco's the next one. Willem Dafoe.
Isn't it fun to have a younger person here?
I'm also not good at names, okay?
Willem Dafoe, the guy that plays Spider-Man, the Green Goblin.
Man or
the old man.
That guy's not in there. Sorry, I only know Harry.
Okay.
She might know.
Dumbledore. Danny DeVito.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that
Yeah.
one. All right. Snape. Unfortunately, I can't recast. I would not change Snape if I could. But unfortunately, you know, the great Alan Rickman has passed away. I have to recast him with Keanu
Ouija
Reeves.
board. That would okay.
Right?
You could always Ouija board and like spirit summon Alan Rickman from the grave.
I get it's a magic movie, but I don't think it's going to be like the special effects are going to be that good. With this cast, that's where
Get your Yankee Candle.
No, I mean like just not even special effects him out of the grave. I mean,
yeah.
If you really want to disrespect Alan Rickman, you just got to dig up his grave and put a skeleton right there, and that's Snape the whole movie.
He's still really good. I don't think. I mean, we're not going to find better. But all right. So we open up with Harry Potter, Jason Statham, doing pull-ups in prison, right? And he remembers back with every pull-up like a different scene when he went to prison as a baby. As a baby, he was framed for his parents' murder, right? The boy who lived is now the boy who was accused of killing his parents. So he's doing push-ups and he's like, I didn't kill my parents. And he's like doing. And then like later on, he gets into like a race fight and stuff, and then The Rock comes in and like saves him and stuff. And then somebody bails out Harry Potter, right? And it turns out it's Dumbledore, and he's like somebody's trying to kill me. And it's Slytherin Snape, right? He's sending these assassins out to kill me. I need you guys to protect me. And he's like, I want you back up. And then he's got to go back and he gets The Rock out of prison. And then Danny DeVito, Dumbledore is like, all right, but I'm going to send one of my own, you guys. He sends Kevin Hart with him, Hermione Granger. And so you got like the three amigos there, right? And then they go around and then they try to find Snape and they're getting attacked by assassins all over the place. They finally get to Snape and then they figure out, oh, it's not Snape that's trying to kill Dumbledore, but we got to find out who is. So we got to play a game of Quidditch, right? So I'm going to change the game. It's now it's a car chase kind of Russian roulette game, where they're both racing to the end of a dock and they're both like pulling the trigger and throwing the gun back and forth.
This sounds like Fast and Furious.
It is. It's Hobbs and Shaw. So at the end, they find out that it's not Snape, and then they figure out like, oh, it's the bad guy. And all we know is that the first letter of his name starts with V, and then we've got to make like 16 more movies to figure out his full name. And that justifies why there's 8 Harry Potter movies, not 7 and 7 Part 2. There's 8. There's 8 freaking movies in this franchise. All right. So then you get to the end, and then I don't know. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Car chase. Find out that guy is a movie letter, and then let's see. Oh yeah. So then like Hermione, like at the end of the movie, goes off to make pizzas. She wanted to make pizzas her whole life or something. I don't know. And then the other two go off and make Hobbs and Shaw Part 2. And then you find out at the end of the whole thing that Dumbledore was actually the V for Vendetta guy with Voldemort. And then like it turns out that he was really trying to kill them the whole time with all these assassins. And then that's the twist at the end of the movie. The roll credits, but the good guys do win. I think it's better. It doesn't suffer any of the plot points that I pointed out earlier. So in that sense, it's better. Also, it has Willem Dafoe, and he's the best one. So
I would disagree. I would say The Rock would be the best one.
I guess we're gonna have to fight it out, and then we'll see which one
I'll
wins.
Fight you.
No, I mean them.
I'll fight you.
I'm not gonna fight you.
No.
I'll use The Rock to fight you.
I don't think The Rock would hit me.
I mean, I could hide behind him though. He's huge. So I'm gonna rate this movie. For me, my personal opinion, I'll give it a 5. It's fine. It's not one of my favorite movies. It's gonna be a while before I watch this one again, really only because I feel like I have to. I don't, or if it's on, I might. But it's not one of my favorite movies. One of the issues I had is just it's a little too whimsical for me compared to the types of magic movies I'm used to seeing. Um, that's just my opinion on it. Where does it fall for you guys?
You go first.
Okay.
I'm gonna take long. I'm gonna take a long time.
So I think the movie is probably, I'm going to give it a, let's go with an 8.
Okay.
Because I really enjoy the world building. And you know me, I'm a plot person, but I can sacrifice plot for something that looks really interesting and it just draws me in a magical way. And that's what it does. It is the magical world of Harry Potter, and they did a fantastic job at bringing what is written in a book onto the big screen. So 8.
Okay. Mine's gonna be a super long talk because I read the books and so let's just get this over with. I'd rate it probably like a 7 to a 7.5 for the sheer fact that the Sorcerer's Stone isn't my favorite out of the whole franchise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so obviously I like the books a little bit more, and they could have done better to stick to certain things that are like in the books, like the whole like dragon stuff. I would have loved to actually see like Neville get detention and not just be like, yeah, Ron's got to come with us. Ron's got to do it. He's got to do it. He's part of the Golden Trio. He's got to be there.
Yeah.
No, I'd really love to see like nervous Neville be like, yo, I saw they're saying all this stuff about dragons. And then McGonagall's like, no.
Yeah.
But I also here's a super interesting fact. My favorite characters are the Weasley twins. And I feel they have been undercut from the movies, and just like they have been minimized down to just being like a small comedic relief. Because like in the books, they're mentioned a heck of a ton more, and it's real sad how I can read about this and be like, oh man, and then like I go to the movies and it's like, where are they? Where are they? I don't see them anywhere. I see one scene with them, and that's it's not.
Sure.
Is that it?
Oh yeah. Also,
just slipping into like a deep depression about the Weasley twins. They're just like,
sorry. I mean, I do always slip into a deep depression about the Weasley twins, which I do believe that the Phelps twins played beautifully, even if their voices were like little flutes.
Sure.
But the whole like Christmas time one also would have been better. Like that also ties into the whole like Weasley twin lack. As in the book, we know Percy, the prefect, he's so perfect, and they constantly pick on Percy because he's a turd. But like they talk about how like the twins steal Percy's badge and they're like running around, and I'm like, that would have been great to see instead of just like Harry and Ron sit down and Harry go, wow, I've got presents. Wow, no one's ever cared about me before.
Yeah.
We get it, you sad child.
Yeah.
Did he get anything for Ron?
I don't think he got anything for Ron. But you know that Ron literally wrote to his mom and was like, Harry Potter is my best friend, but he has no family that loves him. And then Ron's mom was like, I gotta add another sweater to the list to make.
Harry Potter's like the richest kid in this whole story,
Yeah.
and he didn't buy a present for his friend.
I don't know. In the movie they don't. I'm not entirely. I can't remember if he like buys him like candy or something in the
Maybe
book.
candy,
In
but
the
still
book.
candy.
But like you got to keep it on like a level with like Ron, where it's like it's not too expensive and it's not like too cheap. And you're gonna be like, Ron, how much can you pay for? How much can I pay for? Like when you do like a gift exchange, you're like Max
a
is
scarf.
his mom only makes him a maroon sweater that he hates the color
Get a
maroon.
nicer sweater.
Get him a nicer sweater. Magically change the letters on your sweaters and switch.
I'm sorry, Harry.
You got magic.
Potter doesn't know how to do magic.
I don't know why they don't.
What did Harry learn to do at the Dursleys? Get yelled at. Sassily clean the house.
Iron your shirt.
That's it. So where's those skills going to translate besides not getting stuff for your friend because you're a turd?
So we've learned a few things today.
Harry Potter's a turd.
Slytherins have a reason to be mean. Harry Potter's a turd.
Yeah.
And so is Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Yes. You've covered the basics of all of the movies and books.
Okay, goodbye, everyone.
All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode. That's about an hour or so. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next time. We'll do the other 7 of these some other time. Hey, I'm getting ready. I'll be ready. I'll have to be ready. So I will see you guys later. Thanks for joining us. Bye, everybody. We'll see how the other movies. Do the other movies get better, or is it about the same level of?
Well, since you don't like whimsical stuff like that, I wouldn't get your hopes up. But they do get better, in my opinion. There's one movie that's better, in my opinion.
I think
in 7 more.
It's a personal choice.
I was saying before, it does evolve. So it does get a little darker. It gets grimmer. It becomes almost like it merges with our reality a little bit, especially on like politics.
It's not like regular politics. No, it's wizard politics.
Space wizard politics. I'm gonna get banned for doing that.
No, I think you should do it more specifically while we do the Harry Potter 8. You should just, every time you speak, that is the accent.